Hey everybody, welcome to our information meeting. We had some recording problems with our live meeting this week, so I'm going to be running through this for the second time. Hopefully, second time's a charm, and I can make sure that I address maybe some of the questions that happened that came up in the first meeting this week. So, I'm going to talk a little bit tonight about our new program, 515 Soccer. Why we started it, what we're thinking about doing going forward. We're very thankful for everybody who's reached out and offered support and inquired about what we're trying to do here. And we think that there's an opportunity for us to hopefully bring something new and exciting to the soccer community here. We are a startup, and we're excited to be able to be a bit unique here in Central Iowa in several ways, and we'll talk about that a little bit tonight. Again, my name is Bo Schatzberg. I'm the executive director and founder. I'll talk a little bit about our team here and who we have as part of this and what we're trying to accomplish going forward. So our mission is to make higher level soccer available to more Central Iowa kids. For us, higher level soccer is really our focus, and that includes academy and select programs. We don't intend to offer recreational teams right away. We have several clubs that we know in town that do that and do that really well. But we believe that there are several barriers that are getting in the way of talented kids to play at this level, whether they're cost, whether they're kind of a high pressure tryout environment, or just the structure of some other clubs and the way they set things up. We're looking to help with that. Our initial focus is on the eastern half of Polk County, so we're talking Des Moines, Pleasant Hill, Altoona, but we're open to other opportunities, and we've had some conversations with folks who feel like they'd like to participate from all over town, and we want to be open to that. As a startup, we're really trying to keep things flexible here, right? So while we've set up some of our talent ID sessions initially in various locations on the east side of Polk County, if we get interest from enough folks from other places in town, we're open to structuring our practice schedule and other things in a way that'll will help folks find a good fit for them. So there's a lot of words on this page, and I'll let you pause it if you want to read through it. But the gist here is this: we believe that if kids want to play select soccer, they should get that chance. We want to focus on development, on keeping costs low, being transparent and flexible to feel the opportunities that are out there. We know that some clubs pull in everyone, and anybody who signs up and is willing to pay the paycheck or willing to pay the check, willing to pay the fee, can find a team, even if it's their D or E team in their club. We know there's other clubs that have lower costs, but are maybe a little more selective because they're smaller clubs and they don't field multiple teams per age groups. We want to make the option cost effective. We want to be inclusive, and we want to be transparent with our plans. When we talk about transparent, that's not just being open about what we're trying to field, but that's even be transparent about what we can offer from a financial assistance perspective. We've got information on our website about what we think makes sense for us for folks that maybe need some help paying the registration fees for our club, and we want to be very transparent about what that looks like for everybody. We do have acceptance into Iowa Soccer based on this strategy. We've had a lot of very good conversations with them about what we're trying to do, and they know that we're trying to start things small and make sure that we can put something together that's viable long term. We've had conversations with other clubs in town as well, and we've been very clear that we don't plan on replacing anybody. We do plan on filling gaps that we see that are out there. We do have good relationships with coaches and directors and other folks at various clubs around town. We've discussed partnering with them, and one of the things that we want to make sure that we do that is maybe a little bit different than some of the other clubs that have been started in the past is we want to make sure that if this doesn't work out for whatever reason, right? Maybe we don't have enough teams or enough kids for certain age groups, that we're being transparent about that up front, that we want to make sure that we have partnerships and other places in town that we can steer folks to, so that everybody who wants to play select soccer can play select soccer. We're not sitting here saying that we're the answer for everything. We know that our model might not fit everybody, but we're really excited about what we think is out there and the feedback that we've received so far from folks. So I'd like to take a minute to introduce you to our team. Again, my name is Bo Schatzberg. I'm the founder and executive director. I have several years of coaching experience at several clubs. Currently have my C license, and I'm also a high school coach as well. You can see some of the details in here about my day job. Andy Schreiber, who's on our board as well, as our secretary, has a lot of playing experience both in his youth as well as in college. He's been involved as a coach and helped founded several clubs around town and still works with young kids. He has his National D license. And Kevin Connell has joined us as a treasurer. He's been a coach in recreational level for several years. He's working on his D license. He's a teacher in the Southeast Polk School District and is actually the head bowling coach as well in his spare time. So a lot of passion on our team about working with youth. We have some other folks that are about to join our board that we haven't officially voted in yet. We have some other informal advisors from folks around town. And I'll take this minute to plug, right? If you're a parent or somebody involved with soccer who'd like to get involved with this and like to help, we'd love to have volunteers. We'd love to have more board members. Please do reach out to me at bo@515soccer.org if you're interested in joining us. So our 2023 programs, we wanted to lay out and make very clear to everybody. And this age group, U9, U10, and the birth years that are associated with this would be similar to any club you go to around town. So if you're new to soccer, we know we've had a lot of questions on Facebook about what is this age group. We wanted to try to help shape that up here. So talk a little bit about what we're looking to offer. The U9, U10 age group is the academy age group. So these are teams that are formed based on registration. There's no talent ID session that's a part of this. This is just if your kid is interested in playing and wants to get an experience above rec soccer, we'd love to have you. We are fielding opportunities for both boys and girls across the board here. Selfishly, my daughter is pretty insistent that dad coaches her. She's a 2015 birth year. We'll do what makes sense at this age group and make sure that we put kids in a group that is ideal, right? If for some reason we get a mix and we need to field them as a co-ed team, we'll do that, right? The idea here for this level is to prepare kids for a future in select soccer, to prepare kids for high-level soccer, but there's a lot of basic fundamentals that we're still teaching at this age, and we're really, really excited about the potential here because we know that there's a lot of clubs that do this very in a lot of different ways, and we think we have a unique curriculum to be able to offer here. I will be the lead of this age group. If we have multiple teams, right, we certainly will bring in multiple coaches, and we've talked to several folks that are very qualified to do that. We are looking to do registration through June and July to be able to form those teams, depending on what we have there. And the cost for that is, we believe, very competitive, $245 per season. That includes games in the Iowa Soccer League as well as at least one local tournament. We're open to taking kids out of town at some point if that makes sense, but that's not something we're looking to do here in the fall. We really just want to kind of find a way to get our foot on the ground there. The U11 through U14 age group is where you start getting into select soccer. These are the 2013 through 2010 birth years. We have a lot of coaches that we've chatted about forming this. This could be me. This could be some of the other folks on our team. This could be some other folks that have been advising us, just depending on what we get for interest here. I'll talk a little bit about what we think, and we have high confidence about viability on here in a minute. But again, there's plenty of time, right? If we get enough interest in a certain age group to make that happen, and we have enough coaches that we've talked to that we think that we can field some really high quality experiences for folks. What's different about us is we're not going to be holding tryouts here. Our talent ID sessions are really just a chance for folks to come and meet our team, meet some other kids that they might be playing with, maybe even learn some things. And this might look different than what you see at other clubs. We're going to be holding a lot of these. They're going to be very informal, and we really want to have those be grassroots out in the community. We've got a school in the Southeast Polk School District, Clay Elementary. We're going to hold a couple of these. We've got a park on the east side of Des Moines. We're very later this week going to be announcing some other locations at Goodrill Elementary in the Des Moines School District. We want to be available for folks to come check us out, to come meet with us, to come chat, see what this experience is like with us. Maybe learn a thing or two about soccer and go have some fun, right? Really want this to be low pressure. Again, it might be a little more small and niche than you'll see at other clubs, and we think that that's going to be a good experience for the kids. The cost for this for this age group is $695. That's for both the fall and spring sessions combined, right? So this is for one full year of soccer. We'll include games in the Iowa Soccer League as well as tournaments. And we'd like to, at this age group, do at least one local tournament and hopefully one per season tournament out of town. We know that there's some families where, going to Kansas City, going to Omaha, whatever for the weekend might be a little bit of a stretch, or we might have transportation issues, whatever that looks like. We're going to work through that with everybody to make sure that kids who want to play get a chance to play. And we're working on sponsorships and other things to help secure that. So finally, for the older age groups, we haven't had as much participation or much signups here as we have in some of the lower age groups, but we are open to that if we have enough turnout here. Similar to the other age groups, we have coaches that we would be assembling based on teams formed, similar talent ID sessions, and we would charge $420 for fall only. These are high school kids. A lot of them are going to be playing in the spring. We don't want to get in the way of that. They'll be playing high school soccer in the spring for their schools. We would only be offering a fall season there. So again, we're new, we're a startup, and here's some of our goals for the year. Again, we want to make sure we field at least one academy team this year. I noticed this week that I have a typo in the bottom of this slide. We'll fix that, but we have strong relationships with other clubs. If for some reason we're getting late in the season and we're like, man, this age group isn't viable, we'll be communicating with folks. We'll be giving them recommendations on other places they can go, and really be working closely with other teams and other clubs to make sure that everybody has a place to play where they want to play close to home. For Select, we want to field teams that make sense. We're a new club, right? So we're starting from scratch, but we do have a lot of interest. And right now we believe that we can field, or we will be able to field a U12 and a U13 girls team. There's other age groups and genders that we think have potential, but we don't want to make any promises that we can't keep here, right? So we're going to be very open and transparent with everybody and tell them, here's what we're seeing, here's what we're getting from interest. And we are encouraging anybody who comes and tries out for us or shows up for a talent ID session to try out for other clubs as well, to make sure that your options are open. And we are not charging anything to come to a talent ID session. It's just a commitment of an hour of your time to come say hi, learn more about us, get on our list, and we will work with everybody to make sure that they get on a team. And then quality is something that we don't want to sacrifice here, right? So as a new club, we don't want to get over in our heads and try to field dozens of teams and not be able to do this right. So we want to deliver on that promise of higher level soccer while maintaining that small grassroots feel. So we're committing to having every coach that coaches for us have a USD license or better. Again, I have a C. We have other folks that we've talked to where we're going to be insisting on it being at least a D, and we are going to be working on development of our coaches so that we're growing this over time and really making sure that we're not just focusing on building good players and good teams, but building good coaches and a program around that. We also do plan on, assuming we do get some of these select teams fielded, bringing in a camera and making video analysis available to our coaches, and making highlights available to kids of their games. So as a coach, I know that kids like to see what they do well, but also as a coach, I know that sometimes when I'm on the sideline managing a game, that I don't always see the game the same way as I do when I watch it later on and do that video analysis. And I, as somebody who went through their C license, that video analysis is a really big part of what US Soccer emphasizes with their coaches. So we want to bring that in as part of our high quality program. We think that's a little unique for us for being a small club. But we think we can do that in a cost-effective way, and we would do that in a way that would allow parents to check out their games, or even, send it to your grandma or grandpa, out of town, maybe because they weren't able to make it. We are committing to doing local practices. Now, we have built relationships with several school districts and parks of potential locations on the east side of town to hold practices starting this fall. What we are committing to is, we will build this in a way that makes sense for our teams, right? So if we end up with a team of folks that are all from the east side of Des Moines and not out in Altoona or Pleasant Hill, then we're likely going to structure our practices so that they're more on the east side of Des Moines versus in Altoona. We'll do what makes sense, and that we think that gives us some flexibility to hopefully hold practices sort of in pods that make sense for folks, so that these things are close to home, and really meeting those grassroots things that we want to make sure we accomplish. Right? We don't want folks to have to drive, a half an hour each way to get to practice. We want to be able to hold high quality soccer in your neighborhood. We're committing to strong communication. We hope that this is part of that today, right? So we want to make sure we're committing to all of you that we're being open and honest about what we have and what we don't have, what we are offering and what we're not offering. We know that we are going to be very, very communicative once the season starts, whether it's on bid day or making sure that folks know here's what our schedule looks like for the year, really communicating early on. We think that's something that we can do really well. And we know that, with parents who have a lot going on, that communication matters. And then finally, while we want to hold high quality, feel high quality teams, we're going to be realistic about this. For a lot of, this is a new club, so a lot of these kids might be playing together for the first time. It might be playing against kids that have played together for 5 years. We know that being open and inclusive might mean that we're building teams that need to have some development for a couple of years versus teams that are going to come out and win a bunch of trophies right away. We think that's the right thing to do. We want to build soccer players and soccer teams for the long run, and we aren't necessarily here just to win trophies, just to put pictures on Facebook that show how well we do. We want to celebrate success, however that looks. Growth, certainly wins are fun, trophies are great, but we also want to have fun too. So some frequently asked questions. We've answered the registration fees. Do we plan to offer recreation teams? No. Again, we will focus on practices where that makes sense. We likely, because we're starting from scratch, because we don't necessarily want to field a bunch of things with referees and take that on the first year, we likely would be having away games for most of our actual games. But again, since Iowa Soccer plays here in the Des Moines Metro generally, that's not going to be a big concern. Financial assistance, as I mentioned, we are offering free talent ID sessions. There's no commitment here. You can show up, you can meet us, you can have some fun on the soccer field, and see if this is right for you, and really try us out more than we're trying you out, right? We do have our reduced registration fees available on our website. You can go to 515soccer.org and see what we're out charging for fees, and see kind of the calculations that we're putting together for folks based on your income level, on what that could look like. If you have any questions on what those numbers are, because I think there is a little bit of complication there, feel free to email me, Bo at 515soccer.org, and we'll make sure we answer your questions. One other question that we've received on Facebook this week that I want to address is just, what are we doing about our field space, right? We're putting on our practices eventually in parks or schools. Our talent ID sessions are at schools. We absolutely have worked closely. We've reserved the fields through those schools, through those parks. We are paying the fees that are necessary to do that. We have insurance coverage to take care of that, right? We have spent the time to make sure we're doing this the right way. I know that field space is not something that we take for granted, right? There's a cost associated with doing that, and we are paying that cost, and we are doing that as a startup, with some donors to make sure that we do this the right way. So we are absolutely, right, putting everybody in a position to make sure that this is done professionally, to make sure that we're not just showing up at a park and starting to play soccer and hope nobody gets hurt, right? There's insurance and coverage for everything that we've put forward. So finally, some important links, right? If you have a kid that was born in 2014, 2015, that you'd like to register for Academy Soccer, please go to 515soccer.org/academy. You can get more information about what we're doing there. You can actually register online. Rest assured, we will not be charging anybody on this until we're certain that we have teams to field it, and we will send invoices out when that's ready to go. If you're interested in joining one of our talent ID sessions, 515.org/select. That's again, no commitment, right? We'd love to have as many people sign up as possible, so we know who to plan for. We're gonna hold our sessions no matter what, right? Unless weather gets in our way, which it is tonight, right? But if we only have 5 people show up one night, that's cool. We want to make this available to as many people as possible, and we're taking the time to make this a grassroots thing, knowing that we think that if we do this the right way, this will grow into something bigger in the future. And then finally, encourage you all to follow us on social media. So follow 515 Soccer Academy on Facebook or Instagram. Please help us spread the word, right? We think we're doing this the right way. We think we're doing this in a way that's going to be something that kids will get a lot out of. But we need your word of mouth support so that we can really turn this into a sustainable long-term thing. So that's really our message for now. So again, since this is recorded, we know that you can't answer questions here interactively, but please do message me at bo@515soccer.org if you have any questions. Please feel free to message us on Facebook at 515 Soccer Academy. We're happy to answer questions there as well. We're very excited about whatever this turns into, and we think that we're planning on having a lot of fun. We've got a really strong team together. We have several coaches that are very passionate about doing something different, and we hope you'll consider joining us. Thank you.